I'd love to ask you, if you were sitting in front of a 20 to 25-year-old aspiring young female entrepreneur, what kind of advice would you give them with regards to financial planning down the line?
First thing I would do is ask them a question. What is your personal net worth? And do you know what that is? Because if you don't know what your personal net worth is, how can you actually begin to grow and develop it so that you do have a net worth that gives you the lifestyle, the pensionable lifestyle that you are looking for?
Bear with me, a net worth or a net necessity?
Net worth.
Net worth?
Yeah.
Okay.
We value businesses all the time, we value properties, but the reality is people have a personal net worth and valuation.
Hard to value?
Not at all.
Really?
And I actually have a tool that I'm very happy to share with people and how to do that. It is a very simple thing. It is actually looking at yourself as a business. You're an income generating resource.
Yeah.
So you got to look at your incomings and your outgoings, and essentially one from the other is your personal net worth. So when you hear about the Warren Buffetts and all these wealthy people and they say, how much is this person worth? That's what they're doing. They're looking at their personal net worth.
Okay.
And anybody can do that. And I have personal net worth statement, which is an Excel file where you can populate your own assets and liabilities and come up with what your personal net worth is. So if you go to andrealinehan.com, on the resources page, you can download that personal net worth statement.
Perfect.
And the purpose of it is you fill in your details, and it's everything from any borrowings that you have, income that you have, any savings that you might have, any loans you're making to people, any loans people have given to you. It's all of these very simple things. Do you own any property? Do you own a car? Do you have a car loan? Do you have a credit union account that you've had since you were 7? All of these things, and actually understanding what your net worth is. And then what it'll allow you to do then is you should periodically check what your net worth is and make sure that you're on an upward trajectory. And if you're not, you're doing something wrong.
Let me, I might come across real simple here, but I just want to break it down. So say for example, I have no assets, I have no liabilities, I have nothing like that. I'm earning 100 grand, and over the course of a year, I know that I spend the guts of 50 grand a year. Does that mean my net worth is 50 grand?
Your net worth is 50.
Okay, all right. So that's in its simplest fashion.
It's 50 today.
50
but obviously,
today.
If you buy a bunch of donuts tomorrow, that's going to be down to 40 and,
Perfect. Okay, so let me get back then to our original question in terms of you're advising a young aspiring female entrepreneur in terms of how do they plan out their finances with the kind of a forward or future thought in mind. Where do you go from there?
So what the net worth statement will allow you to do is clearly see where all your income generating sources are. How much of that is coming from the business, how much do you have sitting that's doing nothing for you. So any money that you're making from your business, you got to consider that as an additional resource, just like everything else. And it can either sit there and do nothing for you, or you can put it to work and create additional value, and that's where investing comes in.
Say for example, I turn to you now and I'd say, Andre, I've got 50,000 in my bank account right now. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm just going to keep it safe, 50 grand in my back pocket. What would you regard that as being real thick?
Yes, I would, JB, because it's a basic concept of time value of money, Jamie. This is where the value of your money drops due to a lot of different circumstances, but inflation being the major one. So as inflation grows, and we are the fastest growing economy in Europe at the moment, so inflation is quite high at like 3-4%. It means the buying power of your money is going to be much lower tomorrow than it is today. So unless you're spending it, or unless you're investing it, it is essentially a hole in a bucket, so it's just dripping out, even without you touching it, and it's sitting there in your account. Because €1,000 today won't buy you the same things that it will in 6 months' time, and that's the reality. And money is arbitrary, and it really only represents buying power. And you're losing buying power every day by your money sitting there doing nothing. Okay,
so breaking that down then, I think I'm all smart having however many thousand or however much money in the bank, but every day it's staying in there, it's losing buying power. Essentially it's almost rotting, and you're actually suffering an opportunity cost when you weigh that up against what you could perhaps invest that into. Say for example, if I take that 50 grand and put it into grid finance, I might, instead of earning my 0.1% of the bank, I might earn 10%.
Yep.
And when inflation is at 3 or 4%, my money is actually appreciating by 6 or 7%. So that money is then working for me, and then that's a positive use of that money. But leaving it in the bank, I'm actually losing money.
Yeah, that is spot on. And it helps then explain why the wealth gap is happening and expanding all the time. It's not because the wealthy are earning more and the poor are earning less. It's because down on this spectrum, the poor are spending. They're earning and spending. So then you're talking about depletion, whereas your wealthier people are taking money, putting it to work, and it's compounding, and that's where you have this gap ever expanding.
And so that's why the wealthier get wealthier and the poor get poorer.
This is why. So it's trying to shift the mentality, particularly for young female entrepreneurs. Okay, I want to think about incremental growth, and the only way you're going to do that is compound the value that you've created, and you can only do that by putting that value to work, putting the money you're making to work to earn you more money. Compound, and you can only do that by investing. You should absolutely understand what your money is doing and where it's going.
But so many people don't.
The majority, Jamie, don't. The majority, and I think we all need to just admit it, that actually the majority of us don't know what money is doing and where it's going. And if we all stand up and say, we're not accepting this anymore, demystify it, simple language, make this easy, and easy so you can make decisions about your money, Jamie, informed decisions about your own money. Put the power of control over your money back in your hands. You're the one that has worked hard to make it. So why aren't you the one who's making the decisions about where it goes, where you're spending it?
It's actually sad. We're so exhausted by the time that we actually earn the money, that we don't have the energy to go into the process of looking into how it's to grow, how it's to be invested. Sad. It's real sad.
What we need to do is hire our own money. You might have heard that being said before.
No, it's great.
Hire your money to work for you. You know, you hire, if you're a business owner, you're hiring other people, and they're human resources, human capital, and they're the ones that help grow value in your business. Do the same for your money. Hire it, put it out to work, take it out of the holiday bank that it's in, and put it out to work and say, Mister, off you go over there and earn me 10%. You're a little bit higher risk, but that's fine. That's your job. You're low risk. You go over there and earn me 3%, but I know I can leave you alone and not go near there. And you be the CEO of your money, but you got to be making the decisions. So if you can, again, advice to young female entrepreneurs: if you can be the CEO of a company, be the CEO of your money.
Here, could you give some of this advice to some male entrepreneurs as well? This is pretty good stuff. Sorry, that saying of hire your money, it's brilliant. It's so simple. Rather than letting it lie out in a holiday bank, hire it to earn a return.